Now, ladies and gentlemen, from Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the United States, MDRT Secretary and 32-year MDRT member with 3 Court of the Table and 8 Top of the Table qualifications. Please welcome Mickey Hosley.
Good afternoon. I have to tell you, I am so incredibly humbled to be on this stage with these tremendous speakers that we've had today. I don't know if my mind was stretched more by the futurist this morning, David, or whether Tony Gordon stretched my goals more, or frankly, whether Naomi or Efren stretched my soul more. But I want to thank you. Five years ago, my nephew came to me and said, "How would you feel if I joined your practice?" He was 23 years old. I have to tell you, I was pretty terrified about it because I had no idea how to train someone. But he had a huge impact when he joined my practice. And today I'm going to share with you how this young man unintentionally changed the way I do business and was the beginnings of our multi-generational planning practice. I'd like to start by sharing with you today something that I've written that I think embodies what we do and our role with our clients. I am your counselor. I am the lock protecting your door. I'm the foundation under your home. I'm the road builder before you, and I'm the railings along your way. I'm the firm wood of your cradle and the light still on and shining after you leave. Your path was forged by me, tended with care and respect by my heir, so that your son and your son's son may travel safely. There's nothing more precious to any of us than our family. That's true of you and me, and that's true of our clients as well. In my practice, I've spent years helping people plan. I've helped them plan how to have enough money at retirement so that they'll have a secure income. I've helped them plan so that if they had enough life insurance, so it would protect that income and that it would also cover their debts. And I've helped them plan to make sure that they have the right tax planning so that their assets would be there. But you know what? It was all focused on them, their life, their passing. When Matt joined me, I noticed, I confess for the very first time, that my clients, many of my clients, had children in the business, the next generation working with them. Attorneys whose sons and daughters had just come into the legal practice. Doctors whose sons and daughters had just graduated from medical school. And business owners whose sons and daughters had just joined the family business. I must say I never noticed them before except in how they were liabilities or debts, potential risk for my client. But when Matt joined my practice, he saw it differently. He immediately connected with them. They had a lot in common. They were the next generation. But not only that, they were under our guidance, but also under our shadow. You know, as I began to work with my clients, our conversations changed. So instead of just talking about my client and everything about them, now we were talking about the next generation as well. And you know what happened? What changed? The passion, the energy, what was going on with my client, that's what changed. It changed our conversations. They were more engaged. They were more looking forward to what was going to happen with the next generation. I also, for the first time, be able to see ourselves, Matt and I, through the eyes of our clients. We were living their message. We were and are a multi-generational practice, as they are multi-generational businesses. We are committed to each other, just as they are committed to each other. So what did we do with this new vision? How did we do something with it? I mean, this is all interesting, but we had to do something with it. Well, the first thing that we did was we said, we're going to live this mission. And on our website, the very lead statement on our website is protecting wealth through generations. The next thing we did is we started treating the adult children as primary clients. You know how we treated our regular clients, our top clients? Well, we started treating the children that way too, not as children, but as primary clients. And let me give you a couple of examples of how we do that. One of the things that we do in our practice is we try to look at the simple things, the little things that show our clients that we've paid attention to what they think is important. So what we do when one of our clients has a baby, we order Hershey's chocolate bars. And Hershey makes the chocolate bars, and they will custom make the wrapper to say, instead of Hershey's, it says, here she is, or here he is. And we put the baby's picture, they print the baby's picture on the Hershey's bar. And you turn the bar over, and on the back of the bar is the baby's name and date of birth, weight. It's just wonderful. And we order a case of them, and we deliver them to our client. They just love it. Another way that we make our clients feel special is we do client events. And our clients really love this. One of the events that we do, we call a market update. And in our market update, we invite our clients to come in and have breakfast. Now, we've tried doing it with a cocktail reception or with dinner, but we've had the very best results by doing it by inviting them to breakfast. And what we do, we give them their breakfast, and then I give them an update of what happened in the last year as we were managing their money and what I see going forward. Our clients really love this event. And we've always allowed them to bring a guest. What a wonderful marketing thing. But now, not only did we encourage them to bring their adult children, but we also outright invited the adult children on their own. Because we think it's very, very important that they understand our philosophy and they understand what we're doing with the business. Another thing that we've changed is now we intentionally ask to meet the adult children. In the past, we'd meet the children if that just happened to be the case. But now we explain to the parents, we really want to meet your children because we don't want all this work that we're doing to be lost. We don't want your children to destroy all these things that you spent all this effort building. The whole discussion of life insurance has totally changed. And let me share that with you. One of my really good clients, Frank, has a lot of assets invested with me. One of the things I do is invest money. And he's always had a lot of money invested with me. And over the years, I've talked to him frequently about his life insurance and whether he was interested in life insurance. But you know what? I could never get him to really do anything about the life insurance. And once we started this multi-generational thing, one time when Matt and I were meeting with him, we said, Frank, talk to us about your children and what they're doing. And he started talking, and he got so animated. And he said, you know what? My number one goal in my whole life, and we hadn't heard this before, my number one goal is to get to $10 million so that I can leave $5 million to each of my 2 children. And he said, I've got it all figured out. He says, I've been doing the math over the years. I've been figuring it out. And if I keep the way I'm going, if I'm saving all that same money, I can get there in 5 years. If you get me a reasonable return and I keep saving, I'm 5 years to getting to my lifetime goal. And I know what you're thinking. It's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can get you there today. You can buy life insurance. So that's what I said. I said, Frank, how would you feel if we could get you there today? He goes, yeah, right. I said, we can put, at that time, he had $7 million. I said, we can put $3 million of life insurance on you, and you have your $10 million, $5 million for each of your children. He said, well, you really could? You're right, that would work. He got so excited. He was just enthused. We wrote the insurance. A week later, he called. And I know what you're thinking. That's what I was thinking. It's changed his mind. You know, that always happens. But no, that wasn't it at all. He was still just excited a week later on the phone. He said, Mickey, I've just been thinking about it this whole week. I wake up in the middle of the night. I can't even sleep. I am so excited that I have reached my lifetime goal. Do you think it's possible that we could get $4 million instead of $3 million? See, if I'd listened to Tony Gordon, I wouldn't have undershot it, and I'd gone for the $4 million. I said, yeah, I think we can do that. And he said the reason he wanted the $4 million is, he said, then I don't have to worry about spending some money on myself during my retirement. You know, he loves his life insurance. I don't have any client who loves their life insurance more than him. I stumbled onto this wonderful vision for our practice. But even if you don't have a son or daughter or niece or nephew to come into the business with you, I bet that there are a lot of young agents here who would be thrilled to work with you on some multi-generational planning. And for those of you, many of you are more like Matt's age, nice and young, I bet if you picked out a senior advisor who you totally respect, and you bring this message to them and share it with them, I bet you could start doing some joint business on multi-generational planning. Before I leave you today, I just want to share one more story. This is about my most difficult client ever. She's a neurosurgeon, so you can kind of see where this is going. Quite the stickler for detail. Well, I always tried to get close to her, but it seemed like no matter how much work I did, it was still difficult. I went to a meeting, an MDRT meeting in Florida, and one of the speakers at that meeting was Dr. Sally Carioth. She's a grief counselor, and she talked about what it is, what people go through when they lose someone they love. And she said, you know, when you lose someone you love, initially everybody's there. Everybody's there to help you. They bring food, they bring condolences. But as time goes on, they get back to their own lives, and they forget. She said the most important thing we can do is to remember. And I thought of that because this neurosurgeon client of mine lost her mom. And I knew she was very close to her mom. And when Mother's Day came around, I figured it'd be a pretty hard day for her. So I sent her a bouquet of flowers and just a little note. And I said, you know what? I thought today might be a hard day for you, and I just wanted you to know I was thinking of you and your mom. Well, 2 months later, she called me, and she said, Mickey, I was wondering if you could meet with myself and my attorney because I would like you to serve as the trustee of my only son's trust. And I'd never even called her by her first name. Understanding the loving, unbreakable chain of multi-generational planning is an opportunity to help your clients reach their dreams. And so, my dear client, as I forged a path for you, so too will Matt tend with care and respect so that your sons and daughters and your sons and daughters' sons and daughters and all those you love and hold dear may travel safely. Thank you.